Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
A Beautiful Mind is a 2001 American biographical drama film about the mathematician John Nash, who won a Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences, played by Russell Crowe. The film is directed by Ron Howard based on a screenplay by Akiva Goldsman, who adapted the 1998 biography by Sylvia Nassar. In addition to Crowe, the film's cast features Ed Harris, Jennifer Connelly, Paul Bettany, Adam Goldberg, Judd Hirsch, Josh Lucas, Anthony Rapp, and Christopher Plummer in supporting roles. The story begins in Nash's days as a brilliant but a social mathematics graduate student at Princeton University. After Nash accepts secretive work in cryptography, he becomes liable to a larger conspiracy and begins to question his reality. A Beautiful Mind was released theatrically in the United States on December 21, 2001 by Universal Pictures and internationally by DreamWorks Pictures. It received generally positive reviews and went on to gross over $313 million worldwide and won 4 Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Director, Ron Howard, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Supporting Actress, Jennifer Connelly. It was also nominated for Best Actor, Best Film Editing, Best Makeup, and Best Original Score.
Plot.
In 1947, John Nash arrives at Princeton University as a co-recipient with Martin Hansen of the Carnegie Scholarship for Mathematics. He meets fellow math and science graduate students Soule, Ainsley, and Bender, and his roommate Charles Herman, a literature student. Determined to publish an original idea of his own, Nash is inspired when he and his classmates discuss how to approach a group of women at a bar. Nash argues that a cooperative approach would lead to better chances of success, which leads him to develop a new concept of governing dynamics. His theory earns him an appointment at MIT, where he chooses Soule and Bender over Hansen to join him. In 1953, Nash is invited to the Pentagon to decipher encrypted enemy telecommunications. Bored with his work at MIT, he is recruited by the mysterious William Parcher of the United States Department of Defense with a classified assignment to identify hidden patterns in magazines and newspapers to thwart a Soviet plot. He is given an implanted diode that gives him a passcode to access a drop spot at a mansion. Nash becomes increasingly obsessive with his work and grows paranoid. Nash falls in love with a student, Alicia Lard, and they eventually marry. After a shootout between Parcher and Soviet agents, Nash tries to quit his assignment, but is forced to continue. While delivering a guest lecture at Harvard University, Nash believes Soviet agents are pursuing him and is forcibly sedated. He awakens to a psychiatric facility under the care of Dr. Rosen. Dr. Rosen tells Alicia that Nash has schizophrenia and that Charles, Marcy, niece of Charles, and Parcher exist only in his imagination. Alicia, Soule, and Bender investigate her husband's study, which shows various news and magazine clippings. Alicia uncovers the stack of unopened, classified documents from the drop point and brings them to Nash, revealing the truth of his assignment. Overcome with shock, Nash slices his arm open to uncover the diode, which doesn't exist. Nash is given a course of insulin shock therapy and eventually released. Frustrated with the side effects of his antipsychotic medication, he secretly stops taking it. He encounters Parcher, who urges him to continue his assignment in a shed near his home. In 1956, Alicia discovers Nash has relapsed and rushes home. She finds that Nash had left their infant son in the running bathtub, convinced Charles was watching the baby. Alicia calls Dr. Rosen, but Nash accidentally hits her and the baby, believing he's saving them from Parcher. As Alicia flees with the baby, Nash realizes that all of them have looked the same ever since he first encountered them, in particular that Marcy has always remained a young girl, and concludes they must be hallucinations. Against Dr. Rosen's advice, Nash chooses not to be hospitalized again, believing he can deal with his symptoms himself with Alicia's support. Nash returns to Princeton, approaching his old rival Hansen, now head of the mathematics department, who allows him to work out of the library and audit classes. Over the next 2 decades, Nash learns to ignore his hallucinations and, by the late 1970s, is allowed to teach again. In 1994, Nash is awarded the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences for his work on game theory and is honored by his fellow professors. At the Stockholm ceremony, he dedicates the prize to his wife. Nash re-encounters Charles, Marcy, and Parcher after the ceremony, but ignores them as he, Alicia, and their son leave.